Hello everyone, my name is Tokreva, and this is Stellaris, and right now the embargo for the Heinlein update and the Leviathans story pack is over, and Paradox was very kind enough to grant me a key of the game. Well, not the game itself. I bought Stellaris before it came out. I pre-ordered the freaking game, and I've loved it ever since. I like it a lot more than Hearts of Iron 4. I'm very sad to admit, because I loved Hearts of Iron 3 to bits. I think Hearts of Iron 4 needs more work than Stellaris, for me personally. I mean, many of you actually disagree on that, as in the general population playing Paradox games. But I will still play the next patch when it comes out for Hearts of Iron 4. That's going to be a given anyway, because except for Crusader Kings 2, I play all the Paradox games basically. Maybe I should do some Victoria 2 at some point as well. Anyway, the Heinlein patch, which is including the Leviathans story pack, and that basically adds a lot more story to the game, mostly the mid-game as far as I know. There are now space creatures, big space creatures, the Leviathans, so to speak. So they're now in the game, and there have been a lot of balance updates again to the game that, especially combat, has seen a lot of changes. The way ships work in combat and the way they interact with one another. So it is time to start a new game. Now, they did add some other things that I was very interested and happy to find out. I only went through the creation of... Well, I didn't actually create an empire. I looked through the new options to create an empire. Now, these are, of course, the base things, including the Blork commonality, which was the hilarious pre-release event that the Paradox did with the currently lead game developer for Stellaris, did with Knorr. They played as the fanatic frienders, known as the Blorg, who basically, they're repugnant, but all they want is to have friends with the rest of the universe, but they live forever. Well, forever, quote unquote. But yeah, in the distant past, the Blorg lived alone and nameless in the jungles of Blorg Prime, and one day they picked up radio transmissions from a star far away. What they heard shocked them. The sounds of friends, movies, cultures, and music, things the Blorg had done without for eons. Finally understanding what they had been missing all along, the Blorg took their names from these transmissions and went out into the stars in search of friends, hoping one day to find the source of these messages so that they might party together. Yeah, the Blorg, they just wanted to party. It was definitely a huge inside joke on top of everything, but it was fun. And of course we have a military republic, a direct democracy, a peaceful bureaucracy, a science directorate, a despotic hegemony, a divine mandate, military dictatorships, and the United Nations of Earth, which is an indirect democracy. The Commonwealth of Man is basically the alternate universe, sort of not alternate universe like science fiction, because it is set in our future. So basically people went to a different planet, founded a new human civilization. But yeah, that's besides the point. Let's just start and create a new empire. And once we go to appearances, you will see some additions that I really like, and I'm gonna try them out. Now, we did get the Plantoids pack before, but I'm not going to play plants because they've added some extra things. And one of the things is they've actually made a full-on humanoid grouping. They're, I think, and I would assume, still considered as mammalian. I'm not entirely sure until we get into the game, obviously. But there are now, well, we have Klingons. We have, I would say, Andorians. I cannot be entirely sure. I don't watch all science fiction, but this might be a different... something from a different... might actually be like from Mass Effect, the Asari, maybe? Or these... They look familiar somewhere. They're a little bit... looking a little bit Naga-ish in the face, elf-ish, but... Strange. Anyway, so these two, if you have any idea what science fiction they are sort of copied from, let me know. And of course, finally, we have Vulcans as well, with their heirs. Well, Vulcans slash elves, because elves were wise, Vulcans were wise. They're just very similar to humans in general. There are a few more portraits that I have found. There are, I think, no new mammalians. There is a new reptile. The little gecko seems to be new. Yeah, you can really get your spaceship insurance out there into the galaxy now. That would actually be a funny, not necessarily playthrough that I'm gonna do, but just a funny premise that, yeah, we're a plutocratic oligarchy and we're here to sell you our insurance. For our European viewers, I am European, I'm Dutch, but I know about the gecko from the commercials, from car insurance, from I'm not sure if it's actually also called gecko, it might be, I don't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, it's actually way too cute for a reptile. There's no new avians appearances. There is a new anthropoid, as far as I'm aware. It's the moth. There's an actual moth slash butterfly now available to play. It looks pretty good as well. And the wings, my god, that must have cost some art development as well. Molluscoid, we have the sea stars as well as actual snails now. Fungoid has these things. Not sure what they are supposed to represent, but they're definitely new. And plantoids, I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think these are new. These might be new. Or they are basically the creature of the void plantoid one. Anyway, I think I want to play with one of these four, definitely. Maybe we'll be... don't want to play Science-y type of game again. But you know what? We'll go with the Klingon look. Now, let's go with a name. I could just name them the Klingons, but... well, we would be a very militaristic race in that sense. Klingon, Klingons, Klingoff. We could just do it. Sure, I like Star Trek enough. I don't have a... yeah, then again... they're not gonna... no, we're not gonna be actual Klingons, because the names that we would have to give our planets and stuff would be... it would drop the immersion immediately that we won't have Klingon names, but... oh, the appearance, of course, of the Vulcans can also be used for the Romulans as well. So there's that, but back to these guys. Species name. And the Metron, the Babaki, another Ilkahan. Oh, a Khanate. Khanate. Yeah, I will play militaristically, so basically the Corinthians. No, that doesn't make sense. So I'm bad at these names for science fiction stuff. Panuri Zelvan. Let's go with the Zelvans. So, the Zelvan spaceship, the ZSS, the ZSS. And we'll go with one of the humanoid naming conventions. These are more strange ones. Yeah, these are the original Earth ones. These are... I think there were only 2 humanoids. So we'll pick... Rothnak the Brash is his ship name. Refuge, Station, Bulwark, Freehold. I think they changed the naming convention anyway recently. Devhak. We'll go with the humanoid 2 for now. And of course the traits don't appear to have been changed at all. So there's... oh, that's okay. The Klingons are a very strong race. I mean, if Star Trek is ever canon in the real world, then they definitely still exist right now. I don't want to make them very strong because the points... also, they did change one thing. You're now allowed to have 5 trait picks. which will make it a little bit easier to get certain combinations if you would like to do that. You still have to work with the pluses and negatives anyway. I'll make ourselves non-adaptive to give us bonus points. We talented would give us skill straight from the start. When any leader we hire would be really good. Quick learners. Well, actually, the Klingons were not really that much of quick learners. So we're gonna be talented but slow learners. So all our leaders will start better, but they have basically gained that experience already in life, but then they basically won't get to the next level as fast. And just to get some negative points, because I do feel that they are industrious people. They're not necessarily intelligent, but they're industrious people. So, and minerals are of course important. So we're strong, non-adaptive, slow learners who are talented and industrious. Yeah. Screw it, I am gonna name ourselves the Klingons. The Klingons, it's by the way the Romulan Star Empire. I have to look up the actual name for the Klingon Empire. Is it just the Klingon Empire? It is just the Klingon Empire. Huh. Okay. Yeah, it is the Klingon Empire. That's it. Okay, I know it's the Romulan Star Empire, but apparently it's just the Klingon Empire. Player President. Well, that will change once. So we're going. We can have a male or a yeah. The males don't look as Klingon as the females do, actually. And well, if we go with a different hairstyle, they actually do. But it's just this first hairstyle is not very Klingon. But we are going to be maybe a matriarchate, Belana Taurus, sort of. Just a small gripe, their clothing doesn't look the most militaristic compared to the other possibilities. Let's go with color variant 2. Monarch unique. Yeah, that sounds fine for now. It's just our first ruler, so... And here's a big change. And that is, they have added 2 different types of worlds to the game. There are now also mountainous worlds, alpine worlds, and as well as savanna worlds. And this basically, instead of the strange circle with the way that a desert planet was very akin to a tropical planet, which makes no sense whatsoever, but they had to do something. They basically added 2 more world types. So we have a very dry and hot world with desert. Basically, the dry, wet, and frozen is the, well, it's very hot, it's temperate, it is cold as shit. Then we have dust-covered terrain, mesas and canyons, so mountainous terrain. Well, average terrain maybe. There's actually no real, I think, way to describe every planet type with each other. Just very dry, a little bit less dry, and reasonably okay-ish. Arid plains, but brief wet seasons, yeah. But the desert are just dry all the time. Then we have tropical worlds, lots of land with a lot of vegetation. Continental is in the middle, and oceans are just more watery. Then we have tundra, which is cold, but not as cold. Permafrost covers most of the surface, except for the more temperate equatorial regions, so temperate around the equator. Alpines are just very mountainous, and frozen worlds are just frozen over. I like the look of the mountain one as the backdrop over here, so I'm going to go with the mountain one. I believe that their homeworld is called Qo'noS. At least it's spelled Qo'noS, but it is pronounced Qo'noS. Capital, first city on Qo'noS. Klingon Empire, founded in the 9th century. Wow, that is actually quite early on. Is there a name for the star somewhere? Qo'noS. Found in the Ninth Empire. Type. Satellites. That's a moon called Praxis. Qo'noS. Transliterated to Qo'noS in English, yeah. Class Emerald. Astronomical. It is also in the Qo'noS system, so... Okay, so it has basically got the... The star has the same name as the planet. And actually the... Oh, it is... Haha. Good that I'm looking at Memory Alpha. It is spelled like this. But yeah, in English it would become Qo'noS, like that is how you pronounce it. So it's Qo'noS. Qo'noS. There we go. Starting solar system will be random. But it's an alpine world, so we are very much akin. We are accustomed. Well, you know, going with back to the dry worlds would actually fit more with the warrior lifestyle, actually. So I'm going to go with Savannah. Basically, it's either Savannah or Alpine for what I choose here, because I want to try the new world, even though it's, well, so as you can see here, Savannah worlds are 80%, desert and arid are 60% habitability, all the others are only 20%. Now, we did go with the fact that we are, of course, non-adaptive, which gives us those 2 bonus points, which is, it is a big negative, but it's also not a necessity to have, so I feel that's fine. Cities, we will look for the... Well, reptilian cities would actually work for appearance sake. I'm going to go with the reptilian cities. And now, of course, we're going to have to be fanatic militarists. We're not... The thing is, the Klingons are not actually a military dictatorship. They have a council of sorts. So military junta would actually be more fitting to them than anything else. Also, admiral skills +1, which basically means all our admirals will start at level 3. Yeah, I will go with the militaristic junta. Military junta. Ship upkeep is cheaper. Ship upgrade cost is a lot cheaper. Even though naval capacity and ship cost would be better with the military dictatorship. The rivalry influence gain is already there. Weapons damage is up. Trust growth is down. War happiness is up. So if we're at war, we're a lot happier as a species. Now, Klingons are xenophobes. Yeah, they did change some things in the ethics. Like, I think they added maximum rivalries. Planet border extrusion. Does that mean that you get even more... You get bigger borders? So what if we just go militarist and be fanatic xenophobes? That would work more for the Klingons, I think. Then again, they are a very militaristic race. It's going to have to be these two nonetheless. There are a lot of rivalries, though. We can get a lot of stuff. Xenophobia, alien slavery tolerance. So this will be a slave game for a change. Any alien influence must be ruthlessly quashed. Only by staying pure and true to ourselves and the plan that gave us life can we guard against insidious xenoplots. That sounds a lot like... this sounds the most like the Klingons to me, so we're going to go with that. So we're going to be the Klingon Empire. The Klingon... Yeah, basically Klingon Empire. The flag, it's going to have to be very pointy one. They didn't change anything here, as far as I can see. Actually, let's go have a look at... If there's... I go back one. Yeah, I'm just using... Okay, so that... If there's something similar to this, that would be funny as hell. Ornate. Not really. Paradox, of course not. This comes a little bit closer, but... Yeah, they don't have the actual one, obviously. This would be a nice one as well. Domination, maybe? Yeah, these also look pretty good for what we were trying to accomplish here. But the Klingons have a very specific pointy thing, actually. Yeah, I'm tracing it with my mouse right now. So it goes from the bottom left with a wiggle to the top, and then it goes down with a straight curve, and then with a little bit of a wiggle back to the bottom left. There is none of those here, so it's either going to be... yeah, it's going to have to be a domination one. I think I might have used this one before, but that might have been in a multiplayer session. This does look pretty cool. And the shape of the things actually gets relatively close. It's just a few of them. Don't you just love making a new race and then not knowing what to do with them? You know, let's just go with this one. And primary color, I would like to be orange on the map. Actually, I think the Klingons are sort of green. No, the Romulans are green, the Federation is blue, the Klingons are definitely red. Okay, we're just gonna go with deep red. Secondary color will be orange though, then this symbol doesn't jump out anymore though. Humans don't really have anything. Pointy, piratey, ornates. What were we looking at before? I don't even remember now. Was the zoological ones? Not... yeah, this one. Just orange looks worse. Let's go with brown. Dark brown. And back to the domination one we had. No, I don't even... this one, right? Yeah. Fine. This flag. Anyway, starting weapons. Disruptor, so energy weapons would make sense. They did change some things with weapons as well, combined with the changes to the ship working. So we're gonna go with energy weapons because that is, it's a Star Trek-y stuff. Warp travels, I can of course limit the entire galaxy to warp. That makes sense within the scope of things. I'm gonna do that, yeah, for a change. Everyone will be warping around. Now, reptilian ships also do look the most menacing, to be honest. So, we're gonna go next. So, we're the military unit, the Klingon Empire. And let's just save them. We have successfully saved them. I will be playing on a huge galaxy. We will take a 4-armed spiral. And huge galaxy 21-6. Max Fallen Empires will put it at 3. Habitable worlds is an interesting change, so you can choose that. The chance of actually inhabited planet is really big. I'll put it at 125 for now. Let's see if that goes up a little bit more. Difficulty and AI aggressiveness, I'm just going to leave on normal. We're going to be the militaristic ones, so there's going to be enough. Advanced neighbors on. Let's turn that off, so they're farther away. Give us a little bit easier time in the early game, allowing us to just check out the newer stuff as well. Allowed FTL, that will of course be set to warp. Anyway, with these settings, I'm gonna go play this campaign. Very soon I'll actually have a new episode out as well, because this was just looking at creating a new race for this expansion. So basically will be episode 0 of the series. In hindsight, I expect it to be a little bit faster, but then I start creating things, and the RPG player in me also comes out at that point, and yeah, everything has to be perfect. Anyway, for now, I want to thank you all for watching. Make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date in the future, and we will get back to you with some Klingon action in Heinlein, Stellaris Leviathans. I'll see you guys later.